Wow, we are live. Yes. It's a rainy night in Los Angeles, and you can tell because I'm wearing glasses. And it's so funny because people always talk about my glasses, but I don't wear glasses. I just don't. I just don't want anybody to really see my eyes because they might say something, and I'm scared of eyes. I'm petrified of eyes. In fact, I'm scared of blind people. And they're really my biggest audience. And I'm scared. It's just a thing that happened when I was a kid. I was scared. And you see that picture up there? That's Ray Charles. He hired me. Do you know what it's like to be told you're getting hired by Ray Charles and you fall to the ground crying? Where most women or any comedian would be like, damn, nigga, you work with Ray Charles, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh my God, I cannot be. I mean, my mother said, you should be ashamed of yourself. Why should I be ashamed? Come on in, the water's fine. That's the beauty of stand-up comedy. Rain, sleet, or snow. You guys don't even know what sleet is. Hello there, handsome. How you doing? I was just talking about myself. Was I? I forgot what I was talking about. But if it is your first time here, if it's your first time tuning in, my name is Sunda Kroonquist, and I am your host this evening, and I run this place. I usually have a lot more energy, but for some reason, I just don't, and I think I've been watching too many reruns of The Sopranos, okay? Because I really don't like them making fun of Jersey like that. That's why I didn't watch it. But now I appreciate it because it means that, we were special. Because, when you guys watch the Jersey Shore, let me tell you something. Everything that you see on that show is absolutely true. They just had to cut it down a little bit to, make it nice. And so I'd like to give a round of applause for the people who make this room possible. Let's give it for your comedy concierge, Samantha Linderman. Let her hear you. And give it up for your producer, Jason Ham, because when you get your tapes later, you're going to be like, what was that brother's name again? And then somebody's going to say, no, not the one with the locks. Can't be the girl because she's got the nappy hair. That's right. I have nappy hair now, and I really appreciate it because you know something? Now it's cool, right? Now it's cool. When you went to Catholic school, it wasn't cool. It just wasn't cool because I would have to straighten my hair. And then the nuns would bless me with holy water. And it would go poof, just like this. And then they would think I was possessed. So I went along with it. I was like, oh, my God, my hair's burning everywhere. I would just do things like that. I shouldn't have done that because I don't run that kind of shit. But it's a clean show. And we actually do kids' classes, and they won't be seeing this, and neither will you, because I'm going to have to erase this. I have enough trouble, and I don't want anybody's kids. But I mean, your kids, of course. I would love your kids. I would love your teenagers. Like, I need more teenagers in my life. Listen, I can go into a room on stage and die on stage, and it doesn't bother me, because that's what's like living with teenagers. They're just the meanest, most rottenest things you'll ever meet in your life, and I love them. So I don't have teenagers anymore. First I had tweens, and then I had teens, and now I'm not getting the fuck out of the house, and I just don't know. And everybody's warning me about this sadness I'm feeling about this empty nest. They don't know that if you've lived long enough to party through fucking Studio 54 and still be alive and look halfway like together, I'm a pickled bitch up here, okay? You gotta party hard to look like this, and then have some kids decide in the middle of the fucking, like, of your 100th year, in the middle of everything, you're like, I think I have some fucking kids now, because I'm not getting high anymore. Because getting high sucks, guys. Don't even fucking round. I'm serious. Don't even. That's it. I know it's a Jerseyism, but don't even. Because back in the day, you'd be like, oh, shit, cops, cops. Everybody was paranoid. Now they're like, oh. You just can't. You're stepping over people. It's unbelievable. And I'm going to say something because I have a voice. I was turned away from a hotel in New York City because I was not a migrant. And it was a black security guard. And she was like, girl, in my face. Isn't that crazy? She was like, girl, ain't that something? But you know what? We got our turn. Our turn's coming. And then she took me to a hotel that let me wash my face and my hands because I had surgery. That's why I should have prefaced it with that maybe it wasn't because of that. Maybe because the blood was running down my face, which It was during Halloween. It was real blood, and it was real scary. You think that anybody in my family asked me if I wanted anything? Like a napkin? So what we're going to do is we're going to start the show with a bang. And I know we're going to start the show with a bang because she's banging all over this town. And she's one of the youngest producers in Hollywood. Let's give it up for the comedy of the one and only Samantha Linderman. Let her hear you.
Thanks, Sunda. Give it up for Sunda Kroonquist, everybody. Doing stand-up in the rain in L.A. That's how you know you're in it.
Okay.
That's how you know you're in it when one time we were here and it was just like 3 guys just huddled up trying to smoke a cigarette in between sets. You know what I mean? That's comedy, you know? That's comedy. When I was, like 8 months ago, I had this cough and I remember Suna was about to bring me to stage and I was like sneaking a vape and I was, but no, it's just blueberry, you know? Nothing else. I remember when I saw the first ad for a vape, and it just said vape. You know, I mean, super great. It said vape. No, but I was like, okay, water vapor, you know, like no more. I don't know how old I was. Probably like, what? How long has vape been out? This is not, I don't want to have a conversation. I don't know why I'm pretending. Don't you love that when a comedian asks a question and then you answer? No, it's okay. No, it's okay. It's okay.
6 years?
A long time. It's been a minute. Yeah. But I was a kid and I was like, this is great. This is going to save lives. Because as a child, they made cigarettes sound like it was like a person. They were like, it's going to get you, you know, like cigarettes. It's like, what about like uncles? You know, like, I don't know. They never talked about that. They talked a lot about cigarettes and drinking and condoms. Everybody have a condom. And then they said female condom and everyone went, what? What are you talking about? Female sex? Not allowed. My sex ed teacher was, may he rest, that was crazy. That was crazy because he was a health teacher who had definitely done steroids at some point in his life. And he was featured in the Sexy and I Know It music video. And he would never wear shoes. And then sometimes when he answered a question right, he would hand us a white tablet, and it was like some sort of like milk of magnesia. Oh, can you tell I'm from LA? But he was just so crazy learning about health from him. I remember in 7th grade, my health teacher was too uncomfortable to talk about it, so we had a volunteer from Planned Parenthood, and it was just so spooky seeing him in the corner, just like not wanting to make eye contact with anybody. Like I was like, where'd the jokester go? You know, he's such a fucking jokester, and then all of a sudden we're talking about a female condom. I'm like, you have kids. I mean, they don't look like him. No. I don't know. The worst is when you run into a teacher at a bar mitzvah, you know, because then what do? You know, 4 Shirley Temples, you know, nobody knows what the fuck is going to happen right now. I'll tell you what's not going to happen in a bar mitzvah, dancing. Boy-girl dancing, no. I don't know. Come on in. Take a seat. Oh, welcome. I'm Sam. I'm trying to do comedy, but we'll see how it goes. No, I wasn't going to talk about bat mitzvahs, but that shit was nuts. You know, I was trying to tell my sister because she turned 13 during COVID, so she didn't have to do it. Like, she got out easy. You know what I mean? Because you're not going to Zoom with your whole family for a bat mitzvah. I mean, we tried to do it for Passover, and that was scary. A Zoom for a Jewish holiday where there's so much prayer before food to the point where you can feel it in the air. Does that make sense? You feel the hunger in the air, and it's just so uncomfortable. The worst is when the patriarch of your family is rapidly declining, and he's trying to lead the prayers, but he's too slow. You know what I mean? Where are his teeth? Where are his teeth? On a napkin? Really? Really? Why does he always get the food first, you know? The worst is when he has diabetes. It's like, what's that about? Can you just stop it? The fridge door light doesn't work anymore because he just leaves it open so long he just gazes, you know, in his wheelchair. It's really interesting. I don't know. Like, when I look at old people, I'm like, that will be me. I'm judging until it really will be me. My bubby, may she rest in peace. I keep doing that. There's a point where she was at, like, it's not an assisted living. That's for sure. It's not assisted living. It's a home, But I remember, because at the end, like her first language was Spanish. My mom didn't teach me. She thought it would be too confusing. I'm like, what's wrong with you? That would be so cool, but it's okay. I'm the only person at I work at Bath and Body Works, thanks so much, that doesn't speak Spanish. But people have spoken to me in every language. And I'm like, flattered. I learn a new thing every day at the mall. The funniest thing is, like, they're not giving me a lot of hours. And then all the guys who clean the mall, they go, where'd you go? What happened? I don't see you anymore. I love them. One will compliment me in Spanish and then have my coworker translate it, but it's just him telling me how attractive I am. You know what I mean? And I'm like, the age height difference for me, let alone the language barrier, is going to be hard. But let's make it work. And you're in Glendale? No. Dude. The funniest thing about when people move to LA and then they complain about it, like, it's just so gutturally embarrassing. Like, you gave up, like, you, like, saved up all your little Kansas pennies and you left the corn behind. Mama's crying at the airport and you said, I'm gonna go. The Big Apple. Just kidding. I've been trying to think of LA's big. A big butt. Thank you, Big Butt. See, she's so great. Give it up for Sunda, seriously. She says I beat her in the street, and we all know that it would not be that way around. You know what I mean? She could take anybody in this room, and I need you to understand that when you walk. But it's jokes. But no, I love living in LA. I love the traffic. I love that there are robots everywhere. You know what I mean? Because it's just constantly reminding me, like, I don't need to work so hard to live. Like, I don't want to be around this anymore. Like, when I see all the Cocos sitting next to each other and they all know each other and they're not charging or anything. They're just sitting there. Coco. Leon. What else? When they're the name of a dead relative and it says that they're delivering it to you and it's a robot, like, that's freaky. I don't like them. One time I screamed, "You're taking human jobs!" and it stopped. And I was like, what is going to happen right now? I was thinking about it because when robots start taking customer service jobs, like, how are they going to deal with customers? Because if they're already trying to hurt me, one wrong cup of water, and what are we doing? Starting over? You know what I mean? You know how many cups of water get spilled on people on purpose, let alone a robot? I'm sorry, ma'am. I already threw away your receipt because you said you didn't want it. I'll play back the recording. The worst is when people try to tell you that the ads are wrong. It says all 3-wick candles, $14.95. Somebody brings up 3 candles. Scan. However much money, whatever. However much. We will never know, obviously. No such thing as knowing math. But... and she's like, oh, I thought it was 3 for $14.95. And I just open the candle. I go 1, 2, 3. Like, it's just too much at this point. How much is it? You turn the item over. I pretend like I don't know to convince them to keep doing it themselves. Oh, let me see. Oh, like, I don't want them to feel bad. Like, I'm finding it too. Oh my God. $4.95. When are they going to be $3.50? Oh, fuck. Great question. Because I'm corporate like that. My dream is to have an undercover boss situation. Everybody know that show? Have you seen Undercover Boss, Sunda? It's, okay, title gets you in, right? Undercover boss. Well, I'm a boss. Why would I be undercover? It's basically like CEOs go to, like, basically low level, like, whatever. Like, head of Wendy's goes and pretends he dresses up and pretends to be, like, a new employee at Wendy's. And then if the manager, like, is mean, then they're like... At the end, it's crazy. But then it's like, they're like talking, and it's like, how do you not know? Like you're being filmed. Like, that's the part I don't understand. Like, what do they tell them? We got this 45-year-old man who's going to work at Wendy's, and you got to teach him from the ground up. And we're also Netflix and we're filming, like, I just don't get that part. And then they tell them about their lives, and he takes off the mustache, and then he's like, I'm going to give you $20,000 so you can go on vacation. And also visit your mom before she dies. And then imagine being the bitch working at the other Wendy's. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, Mom. Anyways, I've been Sam. I love you guys so much. What a great night. Give it up for you guys. Coming out in the rain. Don't hit anybody on the way home. And give it up for Sunda Kroonquist. Oh, you can find me on Instagram at SamLikeTBH or here most Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays.
Yes, yes.
Sunda.
I love these shoes. Thank you. They're marshmallows. Where'd you get them?
Your shirt's the neon.
Oh, is it neon? Oh my God. I think these are right. I think that this. What was the name of that shop that used to sell those kids things and they made you think you were getting them cheap and everybody had them?
Which, all of them.
No, the ones with the shiny stuff.
Justice.
Yes. I think this is a Justice shirt.
Oh, cute.
I know.
That's vintage now.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I'm vintage. That's just an easy way for saying old. But let's give a round of applause to Amir, who just walked in here. He's doing social media here in Westwood. And you know what? In the middle of everything, I know you're not a comedian, if you guys don't mind. Would you mind? Why don't you tell them, like in 2 minutes, why they have to tighten up social media for comedy and for getting themselves around? You have to get up.
Okay.
And you have to get up here.
Okay.
And let's give it up for a minute. Here we go.
So, thank you. So, everybody needs social media. Everybody knows about the digital marketing. And in any business, you need to be in the front. How you want to be in the front of the eyes. Just digital marketing can help you. That's it.
Wow, that's not what you said at the Commerce. You had a lot to say. Oh, hey, that was pretty funny. How'd that feel? Did you feel funny? You want to kill me. I know that. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We could talk about the meetings we've been to. Sometimes I go to these meetings that are just for white people, and I'm convinced they have sheets under the front desk. I mean, there has to be a Klan meeting afterwards. It has to be. So seriously, I'm at this luncheon. This guy walks in and says, I don't want to hear another word about Elvis being a Jew. And I was just like, whoa. But let's be real, there's a Star of David on the mother's grave. If you don't believe me, Google it. And if you don't believe that there's comedy in the house, there is. And this guy is going to be very funny. I haven't seen him for a while. But I'm glad he's here tonight because his name is Sosa Knight. Oh, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, babe.
How you guys doing tonight?
All right, all right.
Let's get started. So, anyone here been to a strip club? Anyone some strip?
Yes.
Oh yes, I see some strip club enjoyers in the audience. So this was my first time going to a strip club. It was me and my friend, and I was expecting to have a good time, but I didn't know there was rules to going to strip clubs. Like rule number 1, don't go to strip clubs at 9 o'clock at night. There's nothing good going on in empty strip clubs. I've realized this. So we walk in there, and it's just me, my good friend, and this really old white dude. Like creepy old white dude, you know what I mean? And he threw my whole night off because I couldn't get into the women because I would be sitting there, and it's all empty in this dark room, and I look in the corner, and he just, yes. I was just like, oh, hell no. So, but I turn around with my friends. He's having a fucking blast. I'm like, all right, man. So we're sitting at a table, and a stripper comes out. I don't know what to call her. She comes walking up to me. She comes walking up, and she's walking up. She's like, hey, how you doing? Can you buy me a drink? And I'm like, I'm 19, so I can get you a bottle of water. You know what I mean? So she sits down. She's talking to me, and she's trying to give me a dance, but at this point, I think I'm just not the stripper. So I start having a conversation with her, which, let me give you a warning. Don't talk to the stripper, all right? They don't give nothing she said was, it was bad advice, man. So we're talking, and she's like, you want to know where to get a fake ID from? And I'm like, hell yeah. Tell me how to get a fake ID. So I'm sitting there, I'm waiting, she's sitting there, she's like, all right, you got to go down to Echo Park, get on the Flamingos, and go under the bridge. There's going to be a dude under there selling fake IDs. And I was like, what the fuck type of... First off, under a bridge is top 5 sketchiest places you can meet someone at. You know what I mean? It's like dark alleyway, CVS bathrooms, and then fucking under the bridge. And I was like, my whole mind, I was thinking like, is this like a fucking troll? Like who sits under a bridge selling fake IDs? Do you have the machine with them? She's taking pictures, you know? Oh, no. So anyway, you know, I went down there. You know, I had to give me a fake ID. You thought I was gonna. Anyway, I'm not good at my endings. Next to the next. How much time I have left?
Oh my god. I'll say.
You have about 7.
7 minutes. Oh, damn! I got a lot of time. Well, let's get comfortable, right? What's another joke I got? You know, I just wrote this joke. I've been wanting to try it. Here we go. So anyway, customer service jobs are pretty shitty, right? And I know I work at Macy's, pretty shitty. You know what I mean? But you know what would be probably the shittiest customer service job? Working at the call center for Pornhub. Because I don't want to think about what type of odd calls you get, you know what I mean? Let me sit down for this one. I gotta get in my call center face, you know what I mean? You know, I gotta. So, you know, you sitting there, you're like, hello, thank you for calling Pornhub call center. How can I help you? Yeah, man, I'm on page 237, man. Where's the big booty bony lesbian teacher porn at? Don't worry, sir. I'll look that up right for you right now. No one wants to do that shit. But that would be the nice call, right? The really bad call would be complaints. And anyone who works customer service knows the complaining is people complain about everything. And I just know, like, have y'all heard people complaints on porn? Have y'all? They're not good. Like, you sit there and like, hello, thanks for calling Pornhub customer service. How can I help you? Man, why is every porno got big dicks, man, all right? The average size is 5 inches, man, all right? Not even has an arm-sized dick. Like, what am I supposed to say to that? Sorry, sir, we'll have little dick porn just for you now. Honestly, that should be a section. Should be little dick porn. I would watch that section. You know, that's all confidence, you know what I mean? Oh, man. What's another joke I could tell up here today? You know, actually, I got a funny story. So, I'm not a snitch before I start this story. Like, but yesterday, and this happened yesterday, I may have fell in love with the art of snitching. So, I drove up to my apartment, and it's this girl in an SUV parked right outside my driveway. Like, she's blocking my entire driveway, which is, first off, one of the most inconsiderate things you can do to people. Right. So I sat there, I waited 10 minutes, and I was like, okay. And then that's when, like, my Karen voice came into play. It was like, hey, Sosa, call the tow truck. Call the tow truck. And I was like, fucking, I'm gonna call the tow truck. And I got so excited, man. I was like, I was on the phone. I was looking outside the window. Like, I was going outside, you know, dude. I called the phone, and they were like, they asked me, and I don't know if anyone called the tow truck on anyone. They asked you, do you want to give them a ticket or do you want to tow them? And I was like, why the fuck do I got to make that decision? That's a lot of pressure on me now. Like, I was hoping they would make that fucking decision. Of course, I said, fuck that bitch. We're towing that shit. All right, we're getting that shit out of there. So, you know, so I'm calling there, and now they called in like officers on the way. I'm like, yeah. So I'm outside, and the whole time I'm smoking my weed pen. I'm high as shit. I don't give a fuck. I'm excited. And then I see the girl walking back, and it's a white girl. And the only thing I thought of was, damn, I wanted to get her especially bad. You know what I mean? It was going to be revenge for all my black people in the world that got the police called on them. I was like, I was going to get this white girl today. But I didn't. But I did leave a mean note on her car, so hopefully she got that. Fucking bitch. How much time do I have left?
That's okay. Give it back.
You got 5.
5. God, this is a long set today. All right. Oh my God. I always try to try new jokes when I do open mics. I like to try. So
Sorry. 4.
I'm from Los Angeles, Inglewood, California, which, you know, actually I got some. Hey, all right, we get some claps in here. You know what I mean? Because usually when I say I'm from Inglewood, California, I get people going. Because, you know, only hang out in Hollywood and West Hollywood. Because even though I'm from Inglewood, I don't like being in the hood. All right? I got bad hood stories, but I saw a funny one actually. This is I've been wanting to tell this for a while. So I hate homeless people before I say anything else. And I have a reason why I hate homeless people. Because when I was a child, when I was like 10 years old, my mom wanted to do like the celebrity and giving thing. Was like, hey, let's give out sandwiches to the homeless people in Skid Row. And I was like, I'm like 10 years old. I'm like, sure, let's go do it. When we get there, I don't know if you ever met homeless people from Skid Row. They're not nice people, all right? They're kind of dicks. And we spent all night making these sandwiches, tuna sandwiches, my dirty 10-year-old hands on these fucking sandwiches. And we get up there, we hand them out, and some people are nice. They're like, "Oh, thank you for the food." And then there's one real nasty looking homeless dude walked up and he got the food and he just took like 3 bites out of it and he said, "This shit nasty." Ugh. And I was like, "Man, fuck you, man." I was like, "Fuck you, man. How dare you discriminate against my mom's fucking sandwiches?" Actually, I have a lot of bad stories about giving food out to the homeless. Think about it. Because here's another funny homeless story. We're all homeless people. Let's keep talking about homeless people. So I shot a documentary in San Antonio. 2 minutes, okay. So I shot a documentary in San Antonio, and it was on, thank you, it was on this rapper named Lil Lucky. He's not the point of the story, but I just wanted to shout out Lil Lucky. He's a homeboy, right? When we was down there, he was giving food out to the homeless. Now, let me set the stage. I brought my friend Eric with me, and I got even my friend Andrew in the building. Shout out to Andrew.
Andrew, we love you being an audience.
But yeah, I brought my good friend Eric, and Eric does nothing in film. He was useless on this journey, honestly. But I brought him because Eric's 6'7" black dude, and I thought he was gonna protect me. I thought he was gonna be like a bodyguard. Nigga was the worst bodyguard of all time. He really made me mad. Like, we're handing out food to homelessness, and I don't know if you ever been to downtown San Antonio. It's sketchier than downtown LA. Like, it's a different kind of sketchy. Like, they got super homeless niggas out there, you feel me? But we're handing out food out there and shit, and they're getting aggressive, man. They're like, and I'm like, and I got the camera on me. I got my nice big camera, my nice rate, and I'm like, where the fuck's my bodyguard at? This big ass nigga's in the fucking back of the truck. I'm like, motherfucker, why did I bring it? I brought him out there. I paid him. Hey, don't hire your friends. Hey, it's been a pleasure. My name is Sosa Knight. You can find me at Sosa Knight on IG. And thank you.
Thank you. Oh my God. And that's K and not like Gladys. Like Gladys Knight. So right now we're going to turn it into Persian night. Just overnight. Just for you. I'm just kidding. You know Persians are the new black people. I could prove it. They shop and return everything the next day. Ba-dum-bum. You see what I did there? That's so insulting, right? They love it. I love it. When my hair's straight, I play one too. I call myself Shirazadeh no Payzadeh because I don't want to pay Zadeh. And I want my valet to change the Mercedes numbers in the back of my car. I don't know why they just can't do that for me. But that's okay. It's not about me. It's all about the comedy of the one and only Ozzy. Let him hear you. Ozzy's in the house.
What up?
Hey.
What's up? So, something about me. I am from North Carolina, and I'm Mexican. So, yeah, a little odd, but we get around anywhere. So growing up in North Carolina, it wasn't very diverse. So most of my friends were white, but it was great. And, most of them were rednecks, and they were great too. Even the racist ones, they were all cool. But like, I had friends like Trace, Hunter, and then I had a friend named Mason Dixon, like the Mason Dixon line. But he was awesome. He was cool. But my friend Trace, he was more of like the redneck. Like, he had an old Chevy pickup, Confederate flags. I remember, I think he got kicked out of school for drinking moonshine. Like, he was all about it. He was a redneck through and through. But he wasn't very bright. He wasn't the smartest of the bunch. Like, he didn't know I was Mexican, and which was weird because my last name is De La Paz, which whatever. But so one time we were all just hanging out in the parking lot in a grocery store, which is what you do when you're in like a small southern hometown. You just hang out in the parking lot. That's where people drink, smoke, do whatever. So we were all hanging out there, and we were all within like a mutual group. And one of our mutual friends was like, "Hey Ozzy, next time I'm at your uncle's Mexican restaurant, you should get me some free food." And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure, I got you." And Trace kind of paused for a second. He looked at me, and he was like, "What?" He was like, "Ozzy." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "You're Mexican?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I don't like Mexicans." He's like, "But I like you." And I was like, "Yeah, Trace, I don't like racists, but I like you too." So that was my white friends. But whenever I wanted to hang out with more like cultural or more, you know, my people, I'd hang out with my cousins. And my cousins were great. It was me, Alex, Jose, and Sebastian. And we would always go to Atlanta, you know, to get away from like friends, family, girlfriends, wives, or whatever. We don't judge. So we would always go to Atlanta, but we would go to Atlanta with a plan. Like we always had a plan. We would always say we were from Loretto, Texas. And we picked Loretto, Texas because we would always, whenever we would go to Mexico, we'd always drive through Loretto, Texas. So it was a perfect spot. But we had like our hangout spot. We'd always go to Taco Palenque, which is like a real restaurant in Loretto. It's great, 10 out of 10. And then we had a high school, which is called John Smith High School, and also a real school in Loretto, Texas. But anyway, so we'd always go to the Mexican clubs in Atlanta. It was called El Vaquero. And it was great. It was by Buckhead, you know, and it was like a raunchy spot in Buckhead, which Buckhead is like a really nice neighborhood. I don't know if you've ever been to Atlanta, but it's really nice. But anyways, so this night, it was like a regular night, a regular Saturday in Atlanta. We'd always go during the summer. And we're like, all right, cool. We're going to go to El Vaquero. This was our spot. Like, so, you know, we already had the plan. So we walked into El Vaquero. And the first thing we seen was 4 girls. And we were like, oh, perfect. You know, freaking, we got our line, you know. So we threw our line out. We walked up to them. We're like, hey, I'm from Loretto, Texas, yada, yada. And they loved it. Girls from Atlanta love when you're from Texas. I guess specifically Loretto, Texas, because it gives off like, that we're like paisa. Which paisa is like real Mexican. They're like white people, but like rednecks, you know. Like they're like the Mexican rednecks. You know, freaking, they have pickup trucks, rednecks drink moonshine, paisas drink tequila, drink mezcal, and it's great, you know, freaking. So they thought we were like that, you know, which was complete opposite because none of us had a truck. And so, but it was fine. They didn't care. They didn't know. So we walked up to them. We were like, oh, we're from Loretto, Texas. You know, we were talking to them. Me, Jose, and Sebastian were talking to them. And Alex, he found another girl, and he hit her with the same line. He's like, oh, I'm from Loretto, Texas, yada, yada. And she's like, oh, really? I'm from Loretto, Texas. And we heard her, and we were like, oh, shit. Like, this has never happened to us. And we came down to Atlanta like a bunch of times, like 5 times, and hit them with the same line, and it never happened to us. And we're like, oh, shit, what is he going to do? And she replies, like, she was interested. Like, she's like, oh, my goodness, you know, so I'm from Texas. And she was like, oh, what high school did you go to? And he was like, high school? And he said it like it was a new word. I was like, oh, my goodness, he's a goner. So, but then he came to. He was like, oh, yeah, we went to Loretto High. And we were like, no, we didn't say Loretto. John Smith High School. We had this recited. Like, we said it in the mirror a bunch of times. But he failed. But anyways, it didn't even matter, though. Because I guess she didn't really care about the high school he went to. But she was like, oh, it must have been, like, in South Loretto. He was like, oh, yeah, it was. So yeah, they ended up pinning off. They actually ended up going back to the car, which I don't know what they were doing. We're from the South, so they were probably reading the Bible. Who knows? But yeah, so if you're ever in Atlanta, just go to El Vaquero and just say you're paisa, and you'll hit it off. That's all I got. My name is Ozzy. You can find me on Instagram at Ozzy5, spelled Ozzey, and the number 5. Thanks.
Fantastic! Oh my God, so much fun. Am I going to be a paisana? Is that how that works? I'm not going to be a paisana?
A paisa?
I would be a paisa because I'm a woman, right? Porque soy una mujer.
Paisa is only there's not even like a girl thing. Paisa is more like a guy.
Y como tú sabes que no soy una Una muchacha. Como una promesa, eres tú, eres tú. That's so scary. Samantha, that's my note. You have to make it clear. You're a minority. You're Spanish. You're half Spanish. You speak no Spanish. And you understand how the Mexicans feel that don't speak Spanish. You're one of them. That's so funny. That's tonight is the first time that you just said that you're Spanish. Well, your mom. But that's like me saying, you know, I'm not black, but my mom, my mom.
Why? Okay.
But still, speaking Spanish.
Yeah, she's from Argentina. Yeah.
Don't you? People must. Why didn't they teach you? That's what I'm going through. But I'm not Spanish, so why do I have to teach my kid? And they're like, you don't want us to understand. I really don't care.
Oh my God.
Because they're going to ignore me anyway. Unlike this gentleman coming to the stage, let's give it up for the comedy of Nick Hanrahan. Hanrahan, let him hear you. Yeah. You not ready? Oh, just to sit in. It's okay, baby. It's okay. We got you. Ozzy will tell you it's easy as cat. How easy is it? It's easy. Are you going up, brother? Is that Arthur?
No, yeah, I'm good.
Oh my God, look at you. I said to myself, who sent the movie star in here? Who sent that movie star in here? Well, I want you to tell them what you were suggesting about the LA School of Comedy. That's why I thought you would want to talk tonight. But maybe another time you'll want to talk. Because usually you're very funny. I've never met a Persian of less words in my life. Since when did you not talk? We talked the whole afternoon. We watched a fight go down in a restaurant. Do you know I eat in a Greek restaurant that serves Persian food? And I don't know the difference. I don't care. I don't even know what I order. I asked the man's mother. Because I don't want her upset. She's got a hatchet. Have you seen this? I saw a woman running out of Sunin quitting. How do you quit? And she says to me, go back in. It's okay. It's okay. Oh, and then they get upset with you. They get upset with you. So I'll tell you a true story. Not that these are all not true. I had a Czechoslovakian lady that I was going to teach English in exchange for having my house clean. And I would show her a picture of a dog, and I would say, this is a dog. And she said, my dog has 4 ears. And I said, no. Your dog has 4 paws. They're hands, but we say paws. My dog has 4 ears. So I was like, okay, we'll work on this next week. Let's get the kitchen clean. So they invite me over for dinner, which was really nice, except that I've been bitten by these mosquitoes horribly. And they gave me this stuff and they put it on me and it just stopped itching. I was like, this is some good shit. So the next thing I know, they're doing a toast and they're drinking this shit. I just put this shit on my arm. And I got a toast to it, right? Out of nowhere, the father comes in and goes, Dosta, Dosta, Dosta. I was like, that means kill the nigger. I got to get the fuck up out of here. That means kill the nigger. I knew it meant kill the nigger, right? I got to get up out of here. Just then, a German Shepherd dog runs in, and the dog got 4 ears. The dog got 4 ears. So I check in with Irena, that's the daughter, just to see how everything's doing. And she goes, oh, it's terrible. She goes, oh, you know, when the polls start, it's crazy. And Czechoslovakia, I come from a different part of the world, okay? And all I know is she says, my aunt is not talking to my mother. She took the dog's 2 ears off. And I was like, what is up with this 4-eared dog? I've seen maybe a 4-eyed dog if he wore glasses like me, but I'm just saying, right? You ever a 4-eared dog? Look, if people tell you you're funny, you probably are, but you won't know until you make it from the page to the stage. I sincerely would love to thank my one and only Jason Ham, I am, that makes this room go around. And of course, Samantha Linderman. And Amir, a man of no words tonight. None whatsoever, but very funny when you get him elsewhere. Make sure if you want to do your podcast, this is the place to be. Call us 310-470-1939. Why? Why not? I'm paying for the phone, so call. Just call. Good night.